Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Community Newspapers. I'm Michael Miller, and our guests today are Maricel Cobitz with the Federated Republic Women of North Dade. And you're the president.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And we have Bill Kress with Kress Communications, and Bill does some work with the organization.
Yeah.
So, Maricel, tell us first about you, and so people get the essence of who you are.
Well, I came here to the United States with my parents from Cuba, so I am Cuban born. I came when I was like 1 year old. Came here to the United States. My parents worked. My father.
Did you say when you were 20?
No.
Is that what you
I
said?
think she said one.
Oh,
1 year
yes,
old.
yes.
1 year old.
That hearing, okay. What'd you say?
It's an extra digit.
Okay, when you're a little baby, okay.
Yeah.
So my parents worked very hard. Within 3 years, had a home, car, businesses that they opened up, and they're like the success story of the United States, and they put us through college as well.
When I was a youngster, I remember when the Cuban immigrants first started coming, and I said to my father, how is it these people in a couple of years have all this stuff? He says, because the ones that immigrate, those are the ones that want more, that want something that's better, all right?
Yes.
So we're happy you're here. Where'd you go to school?
University of Miami,
Okay. And what did you study there?
criminal justice.
And do you work now?
No, I was going in that route, but then I met my husband, and we bought properties, and now I manage our properties, and also I'm a realtor. But I used to work at the state attorney's office many years ago in economic crimes division.
Oh, good for you.
Cool.
I know that's a big deal in today's environment now. So, how did you get involved with the Federated Republic Women?
They asked me to open up a chapter down here in Miami, and this was back in 2017, so it's been open since then. When I started there, they immediately after 3 months made me the district representative for all of South Florida. Aside from the fact that I'm still the president of the Federated, they just elected me for another 2 years. But I also became the second vice president of the Florida Federation as of this year, statewide.
That's tremendous. We're happy that you're involved, because that's what people want. People want to be involved. So what are some of the things that the organization is doing? And Bill, anytime you want to jump in.
Well, thank you. Yeah. What are some of the things that the organization is doing? Yeah. And let me just say, I've been working with Maricel and the organization since late 2017. That's when you launched. So I'm really happy to have been there when you were making the stationery and setting up all your digital media, and it's been my pleasure to work with you. But yeah, your mission?
I'm glad you're part of the team.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have fun working together. And so what is, you started out with a mission, and you're continuing? And
Continue
that
the mission.
is?
Well,
Yeah.
this organization is a national federation organization in all 50 states. So we have over 100,000 women that are members. We go to Washington. We also go to Tallahassee. We talk about different policies. We train the women. We also get them involved to become a candidate and run for the Republican Party. And also, if they are not actually the candidate, after the primaries, we back up whoever the candidate is and help them out. So this is training. This is actually reaching out to the public and teaching them about different subjects, Constitution. Now the big topic is socialism.
Yeah.
What's the real truth? What are the facts? The suffragettes were the ones that started this back in the day, and now we're celebrating the suffragettes for the 100th year, 100 years of in the 19th Amendment of.
Yeah.
And so it's a big celebration. We're part of that. So this is how we get the women involved and also educate them as to what it is that goes on in the political process. I think if you're not involved, you really don't have a voice, and you really can't express what's going on and what you think and how you feel.
Yeah.
So we recently did a luncheon at Casa Cuba here in South Miami with 2 Republican and 2 Democratic state representatives. The theme of the audience was they're all together and they're not fighting.
Correct.
So I said, don't let that 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue dissuade you that there are people that want to work together.
Yes.
So what is it that you do in the organization to help people get along? Because at the end of the day, we all want to get along. So what is it?
And we all want the same things.
Well, you make them understand. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. if you actually educate somebody and you make them understand what it is, what's our government made of, you know, what are the what's the electoral college when it's a big subject now.
So you go to the basics.
Yes,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
teach them. I think if you educate somebody, you can actually have a disagreement on something, but you can still speak. You don't have to fight and scream and yell. You can just talk. And there's differences of opinion. I don't think there's a saying that Ronald Reagan used to say, and he said, if my enemy agrees with me 70% of the time, he's not my enemy. We can still work together. So I always like that quote that Ronald Reagan used to say, and that's the way I think. And I think that's the way to look at things.
I was at an event recently, and I was with somebody that happened to be pretty liberal, and he says, "Come here, Michael, I want you to meet somebody." I go to the lady, she says, "I think you're a left-wing socialist." And so I said, "Really, why do you think that?" The guy I was with said, "I don't have any more time for her." He takes off. She says, "Because I think I saw something in the newspaper about a congresswoman that was a Democrat." I said, "Well, what was it?" "Well, I don't remember." I said, it so happens, miss, that we supported 7 Republicans that won. We supported 8 Democrats that won. We had Ron DeSantis and Adam Putnam as our guests, so you figure it out. So here's a woman that was just repeating things, right, that didn't have a basis for it. But I was able to handle it, but my left-wing friend, left to be a little, I don't know how far left, he was all upset that he couldn't convert her, right? So is the job of either party or people to convert people or to have a better understanding of what our positions are?
It's to have a better understanding. I think the problem now with the left is that they're forcing you to think their way, and they get upset, like you just said, if you don't think the way that they do. And I think in any society, that turns people off. And we don't want anybody dictating, just like we don't want the government dictating to us. That's why the Republicans like less government, because then you have the freedom of actually growing. The economy changes, you know, like what Donald Trump is doing, I have to say. But, you know, we have more jobs and less unemployment right now. Even women are more in the market than they used to be.
And that's a good subject to talk about. Before we started our luncheons at Casa Cuba, I would every Tuesday I would send emails and texts to people in my orbit, and then one night I realized that they were all guys. Well, because I just didn't want to be sitting myself with some married or unmarried lady at breakfast. And then one day, 40 people showed up, and there were 2 women out of the 40. A lady came over and whispered in my ear. I said, "I know that, but that's my orbit." I said, "I'm going to go out of my way to change it," right? We had pushed here in South Miami to get a woman to run for mayor. Specifically, we wanted a Hispanic woman to run from a certain part of South Miami. It so happens that a woman ran. It happens not to be Hispanic, and at the end of the day, I guess that's okay too. But what can young girls that are teenagers do so they can get involved more with your organization?
Well, we have meetings every other month and events in the months that we don't have the meetings. So they can actually look at our website, frwnd.org, or call me at 786-265-9990. And I can get them involved, whether they want to get involved with a campaign or communications director. I mean, we have different committees that we work on, and it's all part of the organization. Or they can actually just come to the meetings. We bring outstanding speakers on different subjects.
You know, and on that point, if I could jump in,
Yes.
It's National Women's History Month coming up.
Yes.
I don't know if you have anything planned there, but you do host regularly scheduled events.
Yes.
In addition to your trainings. What do you got coming up lately, or do you have anything for National Women's History Month?
We're going to do it as we're going to do the whole state. In other words, the Florida
okay.
Federation is going to do something that's going to be involving the whole state. But yes, we are. It's in the works.
But you've got a picnic coming up. It might
Oh,
be a
yes.
little early
Let's see.
to jump into
Okay,
this,
where's
because I
the
love
picnic?
a good picnic.
So the picnic is on Sunday.
Yes, it is this
Right.
Sunday.
And where is it?
It's in Tropical Park Shelter 1, 7900 Southwest 40th Street, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to have, it's just like a wholesome get-together, It's a Republican Unity Picnic.
There we go.
And it's just getting together the whole family. We're going to have amusement rides for the kids for free. It's free admission. We're also going to have elected officials and candidates that you can meet them on a one-on-one. That way you don't see them on TV. You can't make it out to a forum during the week. You can actually see them there and just talk to them. Meet their families.
Sometimes that'll be the only time that folks can actually meet a candidate
Yes.
or an elected person, and it's at events like this. And you, Bill, might remember, I'm sure you don't, Donnie Fussell, all right? Used
Yes.
to every Labor Day over at Tropical Park. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a picture of my son on my shoulders like this. That was 30 plus years ago.
Well, that's hope.
31 right now.
Boy, that's a truth.
A very strong dad.
And it was one, and meeting somebody up front like that was really good because you get to see, not just see them one-on-one, but see how they interact with people. And candidates and people involved, like just people trying to stand up for their position and get involved. So what can a woman that wants to be involved, what would you ask her to do if she says, I want to be involved with your organization?
Well, first of all, I ask for her interest. Some of them work, some of them don't. So it depends on how much time. So I would tell them, would you like to come to some of the classes? And they teach you how to do campaign management from A to Z, everything that goes on in a campaign. Would you like to be involved in that? Or would you like to be involved in the communications department, which deals with media? Some people like that. They get involved in getting the word out, about all the different issues that we are speaking about in the club. So it just depends what they're interested in, because that'll get them more focused. If you just tell them, this is what I want you to do, it doesn't work very well.
So people can go to your website, you have that information?
Yes, I have all that information on there.
And it's not just women that can become members.
Men
That's
can
an
come as
important
associate
point.
members. They don't get to vote or anything. They don't get to
Okay.
get elected, but they can come, and we do have a lot. The spouses, friends,
Sure.
they actually, because they like the topics.
Yeah.
And you've been there, so you
Yeah,
know
you
that
get
we have different
veterans.
topics.
Yeah.
We have veterans that
Yeah.
come, yes.
Yeah.
We have business people that actually come to our meetings.
Mhm.
We have some that might be interested in being a candidate, so they're coming to see, well, would this be something I would want to do? Because we can train them. We can tell them exactly, this is the process. You got to do fundraising. You got to do meet people. You got to go out there and tell them what your views are, what your issues are. So these are things that you get them prepared, if that's the route they want to take.
And Maricel, are there other chapters in Dade County?
There's one other one. They've been around, I think, 8 years. So it's the Miami Federated Republican Club of Miami. And ours is the Federated Republican Women of North Dade. When I was doing Broward and Boca, there's different chapters there as well.
So if somebody's down in Cutler Bay and it's farther south,
Yes.
and they want to become active, what are some of the in the Republican Party, and find out more? Is there somewhere else, if they didn't want to drive, if you will, do I have that correct, that they would need to go up north to where your offices are?
Well, we have our meetings at 94th Aero Squadron.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's not really that far.
Right in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
Yeah, it's not that far. I did it very convenient. So if I have somebody coming in from out of town, they just fly in. They're 10 minutes away. Or if someone wants to come and they're in Homestead, we do have people that come from Sunny Isles, from Aventura, from Miami Beach.
And
from
you
Homestead.
do you bring in speakers?
Yes,
And
yes,
how
we
often
do.
how often do you do that?
Every other month we have a meeting, so we bring them in.
And could you share with us some of the speakers you've had?
Well, we just had one that came from DC for the Women for Trump. She's a veteran. We had immigration. We had a gentleman come in also from DC. We had Janet Nunez,
Yeah, I
our
was gonna say
lieutenant
the
governor.
Lieutenant Governor, yeah.
I've had Ron DeSantis come over also as well. I can go on. I've had so many speakers.
And Ron DeSantis, I got to tell you, I think he's done a great job.
Yes, he has.
I am really thrilled, right?
Impressed.
And impressed.
Yes.
It's like, holy moly, look at this guy. When he went in, he just went through a whole bunch of stuff, got all that silliness out of the way, said,
Yep.
listen, you take care of it, I'm going to take care of it. And it was great. So my hat's off to him. And when we hosted him, at Evelyn Greer Park.
I'm Kress, yeah.
He was tremendous. People loved him.
Great guy.
And we had George Bush introduce him. And it was
Not
people.
George.
I'm sorry, Jeb.
Jeb.
Jeb Bush.
No,
introduced
that would have
him.
been a big event.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, Bill,
Anyways,
take it away.
yeah.
You got a question for him?
Well, and I'm interested. I'm glad that you brought up the education component of your organization, because I only step in when there's a social event or a speaker.
Yes.
And they are social events. That's a big aspect of this as well, as is the picnic, the Unity picnic. But I also just have been impressed with the passion that you bring as the leader of this organization, and your board members. You have a pretty diverse cross-section of
Yes.
professional women on your
Yes.
board, and I don't know if you want to mention who they are. And
Jane Muir is our treasurer. She's an attorney.
Jane Muir, yeah.
I have Ada Fennell. She's a teacher in a private school. I have Mike De Bocanera. She works in Miami-Dade Community College.
Okay.
She's been there for a very long time. As a matter of fact, she got us the rooms we needed when we were doing the training for the campaign classes.
Cool.
So we did like a series of 3 classes. It was just a different topic every single time.
But
And-
you must have recognized that there was a space and a place for this organization to
Yes.
to start and flourish in Miami-Dade County. Why is it so important to have an additional chapter here, or your chapter here in Miami-Dade County?
What I saw was that once the campaign finished, for the presidential, everybody was kind of like dispersed. They had no place to kind of meet.
But jazzed up.
Yes,
Yeah.
very energized,
Yeah.
very energized, and this was perfect. This was a place to come, to train, to understand the issues a lot better, to get involved in events, to be able to be a part of it, and just continue what you started in the presidential campaign, which was the issue that everybody didn't know now what.
Yeah.
The thing is that people are so energized now. The Republican Party, I can tell you, they are energized and happy. They're just very happy about being involved and being a part of it. It is their country, just like your country, my country, and they want to still keep it that way
And participate.
and be be a part of it.
Yeah.
So we just stare at each other.
Well, I'm being gracious for a change.
Yes. So here's one of the things that I and our team is very concerned with is how people that are in office settings can get along better, because under this stuff that's happened in the last 4 or 5 years, where there's been challenges to just about everything, we've seen that marriages, friendships, office banter has completely changed. So what's your recommendation about how we can all get along?
Oh my God! Well, I'm not a psychologist, but
Yeah.
I'm not a psychologist. It depends on the individual. I tell them you always have to look at the other side, and even if you stick to your guns on yours, you never want to pressure someone to change. You just show them what history. I like history a lot. I think the problem we have is people are confused. Believe it or not, doesn't matter what side you're on. They're confused as to what history really is. And they'll tell me things that I'm like, no, I don't think that happened back in the day, but why don't we Google it and just go over exactly what happened? And then once they understand, they're like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, that makes sense. And that's the way to look at it, instead of yelling back and forth, which doesn't get you anywhere.
So in our office, we don't talk about it at all, because the tension got so high.
Yeah.
It's just like, just don't talk about it, and then everybody gets along, because we're split like most organizations
Yes.
are. And I'm delighted that you're doing it, that you're involved.
Thank you.
Republican women, it's a big deal. If you want to participate, you can look up the Federated Republican Women of North Dade.
Yeah.
We are delighted that you're here, and in a minute we're going to check out. And would you tell us again about the event, which is going to be on Sunday?
It's this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Tropical Park, 7900 Southwest 40th Street, from 11 a.m. again to 3 p.m. You can go on our website, frwnd.org, and register. We just want to know how many people are going, actually, for the food vendors. And bring your kids, your whole family. This is an exciting thing, just getting together and just having like they used to have politics back in the day,
Yes.
which they don't do that anymore.
Just spend time Sunday in
Just-
the park.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say, I'm not gonna say the magic word goodbye, but hold on one second. We're getting Brian Hernandez, which is over making the show work for us. Maricel Cobitz, thank you very much.
Thank
Kress
you
with Kress
for having me.
Communications.
Thank you.
Folks, check out their website and have a good day. And we're gonna say goodbye, and we're gonna look right over there, and this camera right over there.